If I were to say Brandin Podziemski was disliked by NBA fans and a lot of Warriors fans at the start of this season, that would be an understatement. Some of the things people were saying about Brandin Podziemski would get my channel removed from YouTube, and I'd probably have to pay a lawyer to keep me out of prison. Well, since those first couple of months of the season, in which the world declared that Pods was the worst person to ever touch a basketball, he hasn't just been okay. He has been fantastic for the Warriors, and with every single passing game, he seems to be gaining more confidence, more composure, and having more impact on a Warriors team that just can't stop winning. And it's now gotten to a point where you are surprised when Pods doesn't finish the game with 15 to 25 points. Because just look at the difference in the first 30 games of this season versus the last 31 games of this season. A tale of two halves. Quite literally, almost doubling his points per game, improving his rebounds, his assists, and most importantly, the three-point shooting percentage, going from someone who almost looked scared to take three-point shots at times earlier in the season to someone who is never shy to shoot the ball, and for good reason, because 41% from three on over 6 attempts per game is elite, and everything that the Warriors hoped Brandin Podziemski would be as a second-year player, he has exceeded those hopes over the second half of this year. And right now, with the way he is playing, he's taken this Dubs team to a different level. I mean, just look at the confidence from his recent game against Phoenix. Watch him here with the shot clock winding down against Devin Booker on the wing. Is that James Harden? Or is that Brandin Podziemski? But it was more than just the three-point shooting. Look at him here bringing the ball up the floor, and in one motion, going to his left with the ability to just drain the mid-range jumper, doing so in such a quick manner with the hopes of getting the Dubs a 2-for-1. And this shot right here, that mid-range shot, that is a shot that we have seen him start to consistently make over the last few weeks of the season. We saw it sprinkled in at times during his rookie season and the first 30 games of the year, but in the game against Denver, with Nikola Jokic playing drop coverage, he was consistently taking advantage of that. We saw it against Phoenix, Houston, all of the last few weeks. Pods has been consistently taking advantage of that three-point shooting to take defenders off the dribble and then get to his spot on the floor, whether that is getting all the way to the rim or getting to the mid-range. Just like here, where he gets the pass from Jimmy, takes Jones off the dribble, and that is so smooth. And that right there is what we need to talk about. It's that combination, and it's that exact kind of play from Brandin Podziemski that has elevated his game. What you see on that play is Jimmy drawing the help defense from Tyus Jones, and it doesn't leave Pods wide open for a three, which does happen, but it's enough momentum for him to catch the ball and then beat his man off the dribble. I've said this before, but Pods is at his best when he's not overthinking, when he gets swung the ball and is forced to make a play, whether that's attack off the dribble and score, or pass, or whether it's taking a jump shot. When Pods has too much time to think, he can tend to overthink and get caught. Like here, where it's just Steph drawing those initial first two defenders, kicking it to Dre, and with Hart forced to close out, Pods fakes him out, getting past him, and then a clever finish around Mitchell Robinson. Or on this play, where Pods gives it up to Jimmy, he draws two defenders, kicks it back to Pods, and that allows him to put the ball on the floor, getting in the paint, and then dropping in the floater. It's his ability to leverage that gravity that Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler have that has taken his game to a different level. It's not a coincidence that since Jimmy Butler has joined the team, his numbers have absolutely exploded, because now, instead of trying to run the offense without Steph on the floor, he has someone in Jimmy that can control the game and put him in the right spots, and when he gets the ball and just lets his instincts take over, then all of a sudden, you see a completely different player. And this doesn't just have an effect on his scoring, but it's the same for his playmaking. Like here, where he goes past Najee, and with Kanchar helping over, he makes the pass to Dre for the and one. Or even the recognition on a play like this, where the Warriors try a pin down for Steph. Steph is covered well, but it leaves Kuminga matched up against Reeves, so Pods drops it in perfectly for him to get in the post and knock down the jumper. Or here, where again, it's just the recognition, spotting Jimmy under the rim and throwing it high to him for him to effortlessly lay it in. There is a reason Steve Kerr and the Warriors were so high on him early in his first season. From the scoring to the playmaking to even the defense, he just consistently makes the right decisions. He fits into this Warriors team like a glove. And you're also seeing the benefit of Jimmy in more ways than just his on-ball ability. You gotta remember, Jimmy is one of the smartest players in the NBA. This is like having two Draymond Greens on the court at all times. And that's not just on defense. Watch here as Jimmy sets the screen on Gordon for Pods to walk into the open three. Subtle, smart, and timely. That's Jimmy Butler. And I don't think it's crazy to expect this level of shooting from Pods going on. Maybe not 40%, but we now have 3 years of data, this year, last year, and his last season in college, of him being a good three-point shooter. Time will tell if he can become a great shooter, which could change everything about his potential. But in just his second year, at 22 years old, he's already a starting caliber player on a playoff team. That's pretty good if you ask me. And one thing with Pods that you always have to mention is the rebounding. I remember seeing his numbers out of Santa Clara and thinking, how is it possible someone 6'3" without insane athleticism could grab that many boards? Well, watching him play, you see it is the timing, it is the effort, it is the consistency on the glass that makes him a legitimately great offensive and defensive rebounder, particularly for someone his size.
Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. Curry, a three. Podziemski taps it in.
Look at a play like this, where Steph kicks it out to Draymond, and with Pods surrounded by a 6'8" Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves, he manages to outwork both of those guys to secure the rebound in traffic before kicking it to Steph, who does the rest. And there's also the defense as well. I'm not going to say he's the best defender in the league, but when you combine his ability to draw charges, which he does better than anyone in the NBA, with smart timing on when to switch and when to help over, plus a solid ability to stay in front of his man, and some pretty good strength, you get a guy who is able to contribute to one of the best defenses in the league. And that's the key, not just for defense, but for everything. Guys, this is a second-year player who has at times been the second best player for this Warriors team down the most important stretch of games of this season. Do or die games, and Pods has delivered in almost every single match over the last month. And to do that in just his second season, there is not enough you can say about what he is doing right now, particularly given the amount of abuse he was receiving earlier in the year. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of the video and want to see more content like this, consider subscribing, dropping a like on the video would be cool. Most importantly, have a great day.